Hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday. You are live with Sandra at It's All About Choices, where you make the decision to take action regarding your weight and your health goals, and I guide you to making the best choices for you. So every Tuesday, I have the pleasure of dishing out your daily dose of nutrition news for the mind, body, and soul. And I thank you for pausing, taking some time out to join me every Tuesday. Hopefully, you are eating lunch, taking a break, kind of just stepping away from all the madness of the day. And for those who are listening to the replay, I thank you for pausing and taking some time out to listen to some news that will help move you forward and give you some more insightful information. And so we are on our final week of, well, today's the last day, one more day left in August, right? So this is our last week of this theme on back to school. Getting back to routine is really the point of it all, getting back on the structure from the summertime madness. We all tend to kind of, we have less structure, we have less rules. We go out more, we do things, we want to enjoy our summer months. And so today we are going to talk about, is packing lunch really the best approach to pack, to avoid packing on the pounds? Okay, so we know the obvious, right? But let's dig a little deeper than the obvious, okay? And so, does the thought of having to prepare one more meal each day sound kind of daunting to you? Does it sound like a chore to you? Or some feel that packing a lunch on most days, even if you work at home, is very difficult to do. But on the flip side of that, most of us know that if we pack a lunch instead of eating out, either in a cafeteria or a restaurant, that we're, of course, saving money, right? That's the obvious. And the good news is it's not as hard as you think. Okay. And so packing a lunch, a healthy lunch, is actually pretty easy. And so today I'm going to share with you I'm going to share with you some benefits and two simple time management tricks of the trade that will begin the process of packing your lunch in a more and making it more of a routine for your life. So, anything, that you begin, of course, you got to be intentional about it. You got to get used to doing it. But the more you do it and the more benefits you see from having stuff already prepared, I like to use the term grab and go. You want to grab and go your meals. You want to grab and go your snacks. You don't want to have to prepare things and put things on a plate and all that kind of good stuff. You want to make things as easy as possible for you. All right. So grab a pen, grab some paper, and get some insightful information. So for those who do not know me, I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Sandra Goltry, and I am a registered dietitian, licensed nutritionist. And my mission is simply to show you how to get food to work for you instead of feeling like food is the enemy. Okay. And so I take joy in adding variety of different foods to a client list. I take away that long list of avoidance foods so that you can actually lose weight, keep it off, have the energy, and feel good about yourself. So that's what it's all about, without dieting, without deprivation. So it's all about building lifestyle habits that last for the long term, not just for the short term. All right. And so as you are tuning in, please say hello to me. Please say hello. And I am actually need to set my windows up. I haven't done that yet. So give me a second to pause so that I can see. I love engagement, so I can see who's on and I can respond to you directly. So I have one more window that I need to set up. So let me get that going, and then we'll jump right in to all this good stuff that we have today. So here we go. One more. So, all right. So, okay. So I see my husband is on live. Thank you for teaching us how to live long and to be healthy. So thank you for tuning in on your lunch break. I appreciate the shout out. And so those who are just tuning in, please say hello to me if you haven't already done so, and just tell me where you're tuning in from. And so we're back. We are continuing, finishing up our theme on back to school, getting back on a routine, getting back on a structure. That's really what it's all about. And today we're talking about packing lunch. Okay. So is it really the best way to avoid packing on the pounds? Okay. And we're going a little deeper than the obvious. All right. And so we are recovering from the summertime madness. That's really what it's all about. Where kids are back in school, we're back at work, we're kind of back more in the structure than we was. Okay. And so before we get into the topic, I definitely want to give insight on my challenge that's coming up next week. I'm really excited about. I know you guys have probably been seeing the post and hearing the buzz about my upcoming challenge. It is the last one for this year that I'm doing. So definitely join in, okay? And so it's called Post Summer Detox. So it's a 3-day challenge to get your weight back on track after the summer. And it's going to begin right after Labor Day. So kind of recovering from the summer, and then we're going to tack on a holiday on top of that. And so I'm going to give more details on that at the end of this live, but I am going to post in the chat just in case you can't make it to the end. I at least want you to have the information on how to sign up, okay? And hey, Anthony, good to see you. Good to see you. And I see a couple of more comments coming down here. Let me post those up. So here's the information to join the challenge. It's free. Invite your friends, invite family members. Challenges are always more fun when you have some friendly competition going on. So you got nothing to lose. You're going to get this very detailed guidebook. It's going to have a prep guide. It's going to have meal plans. It's going to have all this information. So this is not your typical challenge. So it's not like you are going to get this information and then you're off on your own doing the challenge. You're going to have me as well as your other fellow challengers to support you. So it's going to be fun, interactive, and includes live training too. So you get a lot of good stuff. So it's not your typical 3-day challenge. All right. So let me jump in, and I have my poll question that I always ask. And so, do you currently bring your lunch to work? Okay. Even if you work from home, especially those who work from home, and I'm going to address that a little later. Do you have stuff already prepared that you can just warm up? Okay. So the next step is to have it already ready to eat, but do you at least have it in the refrigerator where you can pull it out and warm it up? Okay. That's the first step. So post if you bring your lunch or do you eat out? Okay. Be honest. If you eat out more than you bring your lunch, definitely post. Okay. This is what this is all about. This is all about information to give you something to think about. And maybe you'll decide to do things, change it up a little bit. Okay. Maybe have that one day where you eat out instead of 4 days and 5 days a week. All right. So let's jump in. So that's benefits. So let's talk about some of the benefits. Okay. We know the obvious, but what are some of the benefits to bringing your lunch? So one thing, it allows you to control. So here's the big one. It allows you to control exactly what goes into what you're eating. Okay. And so when you bring your own lunch, that means you can still enjoy healthy eating, that homemade versions of some of those dishes that are normally laden with trans fat, think artery clogging, added sugar that are typically involved or typically in large amounts when you're eating out or even eating out in the cafeteria. So a lot of times people don't think that the work cafeteria is like a restaurant, but it is. It really is. And so many of us are still working from home. And so packing and prepping your lunch is still recommended. I say, even if you are working from home, still pretend like you are leaving your house, getting in your car, having to drive. So that means you would have had some snacks packed. You would have your lunch packed. You would have your water bottles packed. You would have all these things packed when you are actually physically driving into the office. And so I recommend that you still keep that same regimen when you are working from home. Because I noticed when I started working from home in corporate America, I was more busy than I was when I was in the office. And so it's we have the best intentions. Oh, I'll just go in the kitchen and grab some stuff. But it doesn't always happen. We get caught up, okay? And then now it's Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after. So we get a little caught up. So we have to still remain intentional even more when we are at work. So today I'm going to share 2 simple time management tricks of the trade to make packing your lunch more of a routine, okay? So we want to make it more of a routine to where you feel funny when you don't have it with you, all right? And so let me ask another question. So are you working from home or do you work in the office primarily, or are you doing some type of a hybrid situation? So like I said, even if you are working from home, I still recommend that you plan your meals, okay? Still plan your meals. Still know what you're going to have for breakfast, because a lot of times we work from home, we kind of take for granted that we have this extra time and we don't eat breakfast. So we still want to make sure that we have breakfast and pack our meals and snacks accordingly, okay? And so we want to kind of set ourselves up for success, okay? All right, so I will look for some comments there to see where we're at as far as people chiming in. Let's see here. So office, I see I'm trying to do better. We all are trying to do better. Let's see here. Sometimes I'm looking at some comments here, but I'm bad at it sometimes. Okay. Trying to do better at school. Okay. So awesome. And see, yes, eating at school, because I know Anthony's a teacher. So, school, the cafeteria food at school is better, a lot better than when I was growing up, but we still want to kind of have a balance. There because it's still eating out and we're still not able to control what's in the food. But that's good. We have a nice little mix here of eating, either eating in the office or bringing your food. Alrighty, so now let's dig a little deeper. So let's go into one of these tips. So tip number one. So packing is a snap. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. So most adults, we don't want to have sandwiches every day. So that's usually what people kind of think about when they think about packing their lunch. Okay, even though a sandwich is a healthy option. So if you're in a situation where you're not going to have access to a microwave, then a sandwich is a very healthy option versus having a deli sandwich that somebody brings in from a grocery store or something like that, or from a restaurant. So there are ways to make a sandwich healthy. But think about leftovers, okay, from the night before. And so while you're packing up your dinner, you're cleaning up, things of that nature, that is the perfect time to get prepared for tomorrow or the next day. So that's a perfect time to get your meal for lunch and your snacks, et cetera. And in many cases, you can pack your snacks in bulk, is what I like to say. So you can do that for several days. So you're not even having to worry about that. But this is a time saver. You're not setting aside extra time to prep your meals for lunch the next day because you're already either cooking dinner, or you're preparing dinner, or you're cleaning up from dinner. So kind of use that time wisely. Okay. And you can also, that's good time to chop up fruits, chop up vegetables, chop up things, put them in little snack bags or little containers. So take advantage of that time. And then, and if you're a person who, you don't want to cut up fruit, you don't want to cut up veggies, a lot of stuff you can buy cut up. Okay. So, and the mistake that people make is they do everything or try to do everything on Sunday night. Okay. So some things you can do on Sunday night as you get more comfortable with it and you find little tricks and ways to make things faster and you get a routine going, then yeah, you probably can do a lot more on Sunday, but you don't want to spend your whole Sunday night preparing for Monday. So you want to kind of spread things out to where it's not feeling like it's so cumbersome. Okay. So that's what's key there. Want to make things easy for yourself. Okay. So let me check for any comments or any questions. No. Yes, it's still eating out. Anthony is still eating out. So want to have a balance. Save it for Friday. And Friday, like pizza day at school. So save it for one day a week or something like that, because you want to have control over what you're eating. So that's really what the key is. That's really what the key is. And so my question to you all is, how many meals do you prepare for at home? So this is an at-home question. How many meals do you prepare for the week? So sometimes people will prepare, one meal for dinner. Or they will, they'll prepare one meal and then it runs out. They'll, of course, cook again. And so my recommendation is to prepare two separate dishes. Okay, kind of plan to have a separate dish for lunch, have a separate dish for dinner. So one, it will kind of save you from doing as much cooking, but the big reason is it prevents boredom. Okay, so if you have dinner and then you turn around and have it for lunch again, and then you're having it for dinner again, so it just depends on how much you make. So kind of think about preparing two dishes where it's a different protein, where it's different veggies, it's a different starch, so that you're not eating the same thing. And that way it gives you a little bit more variety and you're less apt to have cravings. So think about a lot of that too, because those cravings tend to come from being bored, because you're kind of eating the same thing. Yeah, you like the food. You're not eating anything that you just despise or diet type food, but you're bored. You're eating the same thing. And so our bodies need different things in order to keep it satisfied as well. So think about that, okay? And so let me check for comments. One meal, okay? Yep, so I would say I'd recommend, again, trying to do more than one meal just for that variety. In the beginning, again, it may feel like it's a lot. You're doing a lot of cooking, but you don't have to cook them at the same time. So you can kind of stagger things to make it easier for you. All right. So let's jump into the next thing. So before I get into the second tip, I want to give a little bit more details on the upcoming challenge that I have next week. It's starting next week, actually in 7 days. So Tuesday of next week. And so by the time we start the challenge, we're going to only have like a couple of weeks left in summer. So summer is winding down. And so how many people just kind of post, notice that the scale has gone up since like May or June when summer began. So if the scale has gone up, you're not alone. It's very common for that to happen in the summer. And so this is a perfect time to kind of reel it back in, getting some help with reeling it back in. So we've been talking about getting back on a routine, getting back on a structure with just your day-to-day tasks. But now let's talk about getting back on track with our eating. And so here's a perfect opportunity to kind of get that springboard, to get that first step into getting back on track. And it's really about trying to kickstart your weight loss again, reduce that bloating feeling from all that eating out, traveling, and things like that, and just overall improve your health and how you feel. And so it's going to begin on the 6th, right after Labor Day. So I know we all got plans for Labor Day. I do too. And we're going to kick things off. Okay. And the goal is, during this challenge, you're going to have 3 days of easy to prepare meals and snacks. So everything's going to be laid out for you. You don't have to think about any of that stuff. It's going to be all laid out for you. 3 days of live support and training from me, as well as your challenger. So this is a challenge where you can ask me questions. If you have, how do you need to substitute things, or when time should I eat stuff? I go into all of that stuff to kind of help you to spread things out throughout your day. And it's all about having fun, having a positive self-care for yourself, and to try new things. You'll have opportunity to try flavors and combinations that you may have not even thought about. Okay. And it is amazing what the body can do and accomplish in a 3-day period of time. So be prepared, or feel prepared, to come out of this challenge more energized, having less cravings, less snacking going on, feeling better, jumpstarting your weight loss, and you will feel that, like I said, that initial bloatedness kind of going down, and you'll really get in tune with your body a little bit more. So come out of this challenge with a renewed motivation, because a lot of times we get a little down. Some of us feel a little guilty. We might have let it go a little too much over the summer, but now is the time to get motivated again, knowing that you're getting on the right track again to becoming the best version of you. So it is amazing what can happen in just 3 days. So you think 3 days is not a lot of time that things can happen, but your body can respond really, really quickly when it is given nutrients that it thrives off of. Okay. So registration remains open. Please sign up. Again, invite friends, invite family. The more better. The more people, the better. The more fun. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. So let me wrap it up. And okay, you work 2 jobs, so don't get a chance to cook. Now that is a very common statement. So I think we can figure out something. So let's start by joining the challenge and see how it goes as far as preparing those meals. So some people join the challenge, and they do it on their own, and some people join the challenge and they're active in the Facebook group. So you can do it either way. But the whole point is give it a try and see if you can cook some things and knock some things out on during your off time. Okay. So you may not be able to do those 3 exact days, but try preparing things during the days that you have off, or the time that you have off, and see how it goes, and let me know, because I would love to hear how that goes for you. So we got to find a way for self-care, even though we got to work. Yes, we got to pay bills, but we also got to take care of ourselves. Right. So let's find a way to make it both work. By the way, so let's go into our last topic. So number 2, the plate method. Okay, the plate method. So a lot of times the issue that people have with packing their lunch or bringing their lunch is they don't know what to pack and they don't know how to do it. Okay, so one easy trick is to what they call the plate method. Okay, and this is a guide, kind of the plate method guide to packing your lunch. And so this is an easy way to at least ensure you're getting the nutrients in, and in reasonable size portions. Okay. So again, this is a general, because sometimes people will need more than what I'm sharing. Sometimes people will need less, but at least this will kind of get you in a ballpark. And so when you're putting your meals together, think about loading your plate like this. So have half of your plate filled with what we call our non-starchy veggies. So your green veggies, not necessarily green. You got your carrots, you got your eggplant, you got other things, but non-starchy veggies. So whether it's a salad, whether that's broccoli, whether that's cucumbers, whatever that is for you, but that kind of have half your plate with that. And then have a quarter of your plate with your lean protein. So that's chicken, that's fish, that's red meat, that's pork, anything that's lean. Okay, there are lean cuts of pork, there's lean cuts of beef. So just knowing what the lean cuts are. But again, everything's in moderation. Then you can have the other quarter with your grains. Yes, you want to have your starches, you want to have your carbs, you got to have your grains. So that's whether that's brown rice, whether that's whole wheat pasta, whether that's corn, whether that's potatoes, something like that, to help round it out. And then your snacks, aim for 2 food groups, I usually tell people or advise people. So whether that's fruits, you have your low-fat milk, you have yogurt, you have cheese, reduced fat cheese, you have whole wheat crackers, popcorn. So there's lots of different ways that you can have snacks throughout the day. So think of the things that you enjoy, and then try to find healthier versions of that. And that's something that I can help out as with you as well. Now, the size of the plate does matter. Okay, so we're not talking about platters and things like that. So we want to have, 8-inch plate. Sometimes people will talk about having the smaller plates, but we definitely want to have everything in reasonable amounts. Okay, because again, this is a generality, but at least this avoids cutting out food groups completely. Okay, and that's usually the mistake that people make. They'll just have vegetables and protein, and then that's it. And then they're craving later. So those kind of things backfire. So the goal is to have your nutrients in place as well as controlling the calories. Okay. So let's see here. I'm looking for comments. All right. Thank you, Anthony. And so let's see here. What's missing? So how does your plate look when you are eating? So even if you are eating at a restaurant, or if you're eating in a cafeteria, or if you're bringing in your food from home, how does that look? If you look at what you have for lunch today, was the grains missing? Was the starch missing? What was missing? Was the protein missing? Was all three in place? So kind of evaluate how your lunch looked today, and then think about, okay, what do you need to revise for tomorrow? Okay, so think about if you had all the pieces. And of course, you can always throw in fruit, and you can always throw in healthy fats and things of that nature. But right now, we're just kind of talking about the core pieces. Did you have that starch? Did you have that protein? Did you have your veggies type deal? Okay, so think about that. And feel free to post. I would love to hear how things looked. Veggies was missing. Thanks for sharing. And so Anthony has the protein and the veggies. So now just add some starch. Okay, got to add in the quarter of that plate, or have some starches. Okay, so definitely, because that's our primary fuel. Okay, the thing that we primarily cut out is the carbs, and that's our primary fuel. Of course, there's healthier carbs, not healthier carbs. Of course, there's too much carbs. It depends, but it's very specific on the person, but we do need them. Okay, even if you're diabetic, you do need them. So that's very, very important. So let's pull all this together, kind of a quick little wrap up. And so here are just some tips. So some tips on how to packing your lunch more of a routine. Again, repetition. Okay, you got to do it for more than a day or two for it to become a routine. So it may seem a little, much in the beginning. It shouldn't, but for some people it might. It depends on how busy you are, how many hats you're wearing, how many different things you're juggling. But again, remember, this is you. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of your temple and taking care of you, so that you can do all the things that you are committed yourself to doing. So again, consider making 2 main meals for the week. Okay, just so you have that variety. Overall, you will do less cooking, but at least you won't get bored. Okay, so have 2 different meals for the week, and this avoids getting bored. And one of the triggers of stress eating or snacking and things like that is because we could get bored. Okay, we get bored with things, of course, that we don't like, but we also get bored with things that we do like if we're eating it every single day. So we want to change it up. You don't want to have chicken for every single meal every single day. You want to switch it up, and that's another way to get our nutrients in, because remember, no one food has everything in it. So we want to have that variety. And then remember the plate method. So whether you're eating out or eating at home, specifically, you still want to have the pieces. So still make sure you have a lean protein. You still have as whole of a grain as possible. When you're eating out, it's going to be difficult to have whole grains. It depends on the type of restaurant you're at, but they do exist. Corn, potatoes, those things do exist in a lot of restaurants. But you want to have some type of a grain, and then also your vegetables, okay? And when you have all those pieces, think about satiety. Think about sustainable energy throughout the day, not just, this big rush of energy and then you come crashing down. A metabolism booster, okay? And the bonus, over time, if weight loss is the goal, you will lose weight if the calories are restricted to the right amount, not too much, but to the right amount. And weight loss maintenance. So you see, that's a whole nother ball game, okay? You lose weight, but then to maintain it is a different approach, okay? So, but this is a start to at least making sure you're addressing the nutrients and the calories, okay? And so this concludes what I have. I am going to put the URL back up here for the challenge. Please sign up as a reminder. This concludes what I have. Please share this with your friends and your family. If you found this very helpful, it's all about ironing, sharpening iron, so we can help each other out, help each other get healthy. Okay. So again, sign up for my final challenge in 2022. I'm excited. You will have these meal plans with you to continue using. You will have this live training and the information from that to to continue as well. The learning doesn't stop with the challenge, it continues. You can reuse this information as well as the support from others, and you get to hear, what other people are doing too. So a lot of times you'll see that you're not alone, and that we all are looking for that accountability, and we're all looking for that same support to help get us through. Okay. And 3 days of fun, and hey, some self-care. Okay. Taking care of yourself for a couple of days. So hit the reset button. I'm doing it with you all. So I always like to let people know I don't just talk about it. I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to do each day with you, and I'm going to post my meals just like I'm going to ask everybody else to post their meals. Okay. And so thank you for tuning in. Feel good about making yourself a priority so that you are stronger for all the things that you have going on in your life. Okay. So I will not be in this platform live next week because I'm going to go live in the private Facebook group with the challenge. Okay. So I will return here on the 13th. So hopefully I will see all of you all in the challenge. And so therefore you won't miss a beat, and you will have training from me for 3 days. So I go live for 3 days straight instead of just one day next week. All right. So have a great rest of your day. And I appreciate you all tuning in and staying to the end. And I will see you in the challenge next week. And then I'll see you back here on the 13th. Have a great one. Bye-bye.